It cranks. We got a Suburban that sounds like it's gonna start like a Duramax. Yo, 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 what up YouTube? Welcome back to the Nasty Nate channel. Today's the day. I hooked up the battery tender. It's the only battery charger I have at the moment. And I hooked up our value power battery that's covered in dust and all kinds of stuff, but it does have power. I'm gonna play you the clip from last night right now. I hooked up all the power and got in the truck and went to see if the dash worked, and I'm gonna play that right now because it's kind of cool. All right guys, I'm super tired. It's the weekend. We went to Shides and I barely slept. We were out in the sun. It was like 107 heat index on Friday and 105 heat index on Saturday or something like that, but I just cannot resist trying to put power to this thing. Everything is ready to go except the AC lines and the fluids. Obviously, I need the upper radiator hose to put on there, but everything else is ready to go. I do not have the exhaust on. It's going to be open downpipe for now until I figure out what I want to do. The shift cable is my main problem. It's the last thing I need to do. The shift cable I ordered is the wrong one. It's for a gas truck with the 4L80 probably. The throw on this thing is basically different. Like when it's all the way in, it needs to be back here. And when it's all the way out, it needs to be back here also. So the Allison has a different like shift linkage connected to the trans. And this one is just not gonna work. It's actually the same size that came off of the Suburban. If you see, they move the same distance. So the throw is different. I need to try to order another one of those. So I hear some relays clicking. Something in the truck. Oh, it's got the hazards on. And because the key was already on. I'm stupid. But the dash has power. Holy crap, that's weird to see. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna do the security relearn and I'm gonna plug in my trickle charger and let's see if we can get this thing to crank, I guess. And now, today, apparently you can crank the key, you can put it in, turn it to the on position, leave it on, and then you're supposed to light up. You're supposed to leave the key on for 10 minutes, then you back it off, wait 30 seconds, crank it back on for 10 more minutes, back off for 30 seconds. You have to do that a total of 3 times, and apparently it will undo the security system or delete it or whatever, relearn. I'm not sure. I've heard a few people say you can do this, and I've heard a few people say you cannot, and you have to have EFI Live to delete that. So I'm gonna try that right now, and we're gonna see what happens. But let's see, we got lights on in this thing, which is huge. Also, I need to change out some lights in this thing. I wanna do a bunch of stuff. Anyway, let's see what we got on the dash. So it lights up, we got power, and I'm gonna put it in the on position right now. Ooh, I think I need to put it in park. Everything's blinking. Some stuff is blinking. I'm gonna go put the trans in park. I don't know if that means anything. The engine light just blinked. I hear something in the dash. Oh, maybe it's like the blower motor or something. I don't know. Anyway, weird. I'm gonna look at my phone right now. It's 9:55. So we're gonna wait till 10:05, crank her off. We gotta do that a total of 3 times. All right, boys, 10 minutes is coming up on our 3rd key cycle. So once we hit 10 minutes, like we are now, I can turn it off. We have to wait 10 seconds, so I'll wait 15 or 20, and then you're supposed to be able to crank this. I don't know if it's gonna work, but if it does, I'm just gonna see if it cranks. We got fluids in it, no coolant, no fuel. So probably any second now we can crank it. I'm gonna stop this on my phone and I guess we'll see what happens. Here we go. Sounds like it's dead. Or tried to start and the security system thing is still a thing. I'm about to try it again. Here we go. No, it sounds like it's dead. So it was clicking, I don't know if you could hear that, but it was clicking like it was dead. Or the security immobilizer thing is kicking in and it won't let it crank. But I feel like it wouldn't click like that if that was the case. All right, guys, good thing I got a single cab Duramax parked right here that I can steal a battery from. So now we get to see what it does again. I'm gonna set the camera up right here. Boy, she cranks.
She's a cranker.
What the? That sounds like a cranking Duramax to me. Boys, we need to get this thing going. Just like Mike was saying, it cranks. We got a Suburban that sounds like it's gonna start like a Duramax. I don't know if it's actually gonna start. Now we need to wire up the lift pump, throw some coolant in this thing, and I think that's it. Needs a drive shaft and rear diff fluid and trans fluid, but it'll start, hopefully. And we are gonna run this thing open down pipe because I don't feel like doing an exhaust. So we'll leave it like that until I feel like doing an exhaust. And then, yeah, I don't know what else we need to do. Probably clean this thing. Probably put the interior back together. We're gonna make sure the transfer case shifts in four-wheel drive once I get it in the driveway and put it in neutral and back in gear and all that good stuff. But boys, we have a Suburban with a Duramax in it that is cranking. That means something went right. All right, guys, with the lift pump, they really give you a ton of wire, and you can see some of this new wire loom is for that lift pump. And I ended up cutting a lot of it out and cutting a lot of it down. So they give you a ground wire that's literally like 10 feet long. Same with the trigger wire for the relay, which goes right here in the ignition. We're gonna try it out here right in just a second. And then also the power wire, it's super long. So it's convenient if you need to, you know, run at a super long distance, but I didn't want to coil up all this wire loom and take up a ton of space right here and just look kind of sketchy. So I did cut everything down, soldered everything, used the correct color heat shrink, which I think looks really good. You can hardly even tell that we did that. So we got the add fuse in with the 10 amp and the 2 amp. I'm going to slap it in right here, and that is actually right under this 15 amp. It says TBC ignition 1 10 amp, and I'm gonna get in the Suburban right now and crack the key and see if we hear the lift pump. It should be pretty loud because there's no fuel in there, and I'm not gonna let it run very long because obviously we want to get fuel running through that thing, but we'll be able to hear it. Yep, I did hear the lift pump. So we need to wait until we get fuel in there, and then that thing should be ready to go. That is one more step closer to cranking this thing over and hearing it run. So stay tuned right here. We could dump coolant in this thing and dump fuel in this thing, and we should be running. We don't need the shift cable or the drive shaft to run, so stay tuned. That's gonna be in a separate video. I wanna get this thing running, and then in that video, we're gonna throw the drive shaft on there, and I wanna drive this thing down the road. So stay tuned right here to Nasty Nate. This thing is very close to running. Should be next week, so we'll see you in the next one.